Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 22 of Season 2 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yesterday we're here back for the penultimate race of what I'm calling the penultimate season of this career mode here on the Jeddah Corniche Street Circuit. Must admit, actually quite looking forward to heading back to Jeddah. Very, very good fun on the Formula 1 games, and especially after such a decent season of this Williams RTG as well, of course. If you missed out on the last video from this series that went live a few days ago now, actually, from Australia, definitely recommend going back and checking that one out. A very, very good race around Albert Park. But yeah, that is a warning for spoilers before we jump into this one today. In terms of R&D development, we have now got all the upgrades sorted, ready for next season, so we don't need to worry about anything there. We can just focus on putting more upgrades onto the car. Championship-wise, though, it is all done at the front of the field there. Max Verstappen is Drivers' World Champion, heads into the final two races with a 70-point lead. However, Mercedes and Red Bull still duking it out for the Constructors. Really, every team still is in a battle in the Constructors' Championship. You know, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren versus Ferrari. We still have an outside shot of beating AlphaTauri and Alpine and Aston Martin as well. And then, of course, Alfa Romeo and Haas are probably in the battle of countback. But yeah, Jeddah this weekend should be a good track for our car as well, I'm hoping. Let's dive in here to Saudi Arabia. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. The choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day back at Jeddah once more, and I always forget just how wild this track is to try and get a good qualifying lap in. However, today though, yeah, car feels quick. Just seem to be struggling a little bit myself with just sort of remembering, I think, not only the Williams car, but also F1 2021. Of course, been playing a lot of F1 2022 over the last few days. Videos on that game will resume tomorrow, so if you're not already, please do get yourself subscribed as well. Again, I want to say a massive thank you for 45,000 of you now on the channel. It is, yeah, I know I keep saying it, but it is just mind-blowing. But yeah, I'm really sort of struggling to actually get the car rotated around. You know, the quick flick direction changes seem to be where it's struggling a bit more this weekend, which of course is, well, a lot of this circuit in general, but mainly sort of through Sector 1. Of course, we got a lot of grunt from the Mercedes power unit. We haven't actually got a bad car error or chassis-wise either. It just still sometimes feels a little bit sluggish there as we get awfully close to the walls, as George immediately posts up the fastest time. Love to see that from our teammate. There we go. Verstappen completely smashes every lap time we've seen out of the water down into a mid-25. But we're still on a pretty good run as we head down in towards the final couple of corners here. Yeah, just, I mean, with sim damage as well, this track certainly just has that extra element of fear as well. As we would power out the final corner up till start-finish line, it's going to be a high 26. No, it's not. It's going to be a 27 exactly. Puts us quicker than Ricciardo and Seb, however. I think this could be another weekend where we challenge McLaren and Ferrari with a bit of luck. This is what we need to be doing, constantly making those steps forward. Right, heading back out then for our second lap. Now we've already got a good time on the board. I'm just going to start taking big risks here, because of course if I mess up this lap, then we're just going to dive back into the pits so we've got time to go for our third run. Gasly and Tsunoda though, right with us there, you know, sort of rustling McLaren and Ferrari's feathers. But yeah, this lap needs to be a good one as we tip it in through 1 and 2. Use all the track space on the exit. Remember, you can use all of the curbing around this venue as well. You know, it does count as part of the circuit there, as immediately heading through Sector 1. Just trying to make our motions as fluid as possible. You know, trying not to turn in, second guess ourselves, everything like that. And it's working. Immediately, 3/10 found as we head out of the first sector there. This was again where I made a big mistake on my first lap. Going to gain a lot of time on the way in, but probably lose a little bit on the way out there. But look at the time, half a second up. as we come towards the end of Sector 2. That corner as well, I'm really sort of struggling to get the car where I need it, but right up towards the wall on the exit now as we head down in towards through these S's. Of course, the DRS zone in 2022, not in 2021, however. Flick it down at the 50, down 2 gears there, and again using all the curb. We have found more time as the lap unfolds, though. It is so fun when you get a lap hooked up here around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. 6 tenths up though as we head down in towards the final couple of corners. Don't do what Verstappen did in real life there. We've done what Verstappen did in real life, and it's going to cost me time up towards the end of the lap there, so that is going to be a write-off on the second lap. We want to chase perfection this weekend, and that was not going to be the perfect lap. Green in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. If we can find more time, though, I would be a very happy man. Right, well, final run then here in Q3, and for some reason, it looks like our first lap has been deleted as well there, so now it is all or nothing as we head out the final corner, about to start our last lap here in Jeddah. Sergio Perez, a bit like he managed in 2022 real life, now slots up into pole position. The first man down into the 25s, but now we have got no delta to go up against. It is all or nothing here around Saudi Arabia as we get, again, a really nice run out through the first couple of corners, down in towards the S's, though again attack the curbs on the way in, but just running horribly wide on the way out there as we head through these next couple of turns. Really trying to open up the track width as best as possible. And there we go, using up all the curbing on the exit there. We're still up, though, on a lot of cars as down in towards the banked, I want to say turn 10. Oh, Mick Schumacher, please don't block me on this lap there as we try and get a nice run then. Oh, just a little bit of understeer on the exit, but we only just keep it out of the wall there. This has been a frantic lap up until now, but we're 1.2 seconds up on Antonio Giovinazzi. Really having to use a lot of the curb there, maybe just close to outside track limits as we head now down in towards the final couple of corners of this lap. As long as it's quicker than the 27 we originally did, can't be too disappointed there as heading down, trying to get it slowed down. Don't Verstappen it at the final corner, back end reeling around underneath us, but up towards the line. What is the time going to be? Shortest run to the flag. It's going to be a 26.1. And that puts us P3 on the grid here. That has got to be the best qualifying we've ever had in this series. P3, second row. I'll have that.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Verstappen, Perez and Mr. Monaco. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, I said we might be able to rustle the feathers of McLaren and Ferrari, but I didn't think we'd beat both Mercs at the end of qualifying there. I mean, we were only, what, 200ths away from being on the front row of the grid there. Why couldn't George Russell find similar pace to what we could around this circuit? But what a lap that was here in Saudi Arabia. And I mean, yeah, if we hadn't been caught up behind Mick Schumacher, it might have been even more there. But that was a fantastic qualifying lap, if I do say so myself. Let's see, though, where we end up here in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. An interesting circuit this one, the newest on the Formula One calendar, and like most street circuits, it's sure to present the drivers with an interesting technical challenge. Some challenging turns for the drivers to negotiate as well, and at the same time they're going to have to manage their tyres very carefully in this heat. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? They've had a fantastic campaign, it's been a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Mr. Monaco, Bottas, Lewis Hamilton and Ricciardo, Gasly, Tsunoda, Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, Russell, Stroll, Esteban Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Norris, Sainz, Latifi, Charles Leclerc and Nikita Mazepin. Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, well here we are then on the grid for the penultimate race of Season 2 here of the Williams RTG, and where better to be racing tonight than the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Starting from the second row, I'm really looking forward to this one today. Maybe, you know, we could score some big points. Maybe a podium is on the table as well, of course. We took the win at Singapore. We could have taken the win at Mexico later on this year. Things have really fallen into place, especially in the second half of this campaign. But today, it's just a day of seeing what we can muster up. You know, with a big result here, could bring us a whole lot closer to AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship as well. But sim damage, of course, as always, got to keep it clean and tidy when we get down towards turn 1. Waiting on those 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. And looks like Bottas has got off well, but myself and Sergio Perez not doing so much, as there we go. One Mercedes trying to make their way through, and McLaren as well, and Daniel Ricciardo trying to make a position, but Hamilton then takes the place back from the Australian there. Lando Norris and both Ferraris with grid penalties here, so we have got a really good chance to try and score big points this weekend. But saying that, so to AlphaTauri, and that is of big concern there as we head through the S's on lap 1. Immediately there you can see just how quick some of those other cars are here in comparison to us. You know, we want to be battling Mercedes and Red Bulls in the future, but I think we've still got a little...
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
That can't have been damage. Surely that can't have been damage on lap 1 of the Grand Prix. I don't think it was, or at least if it was, it doesn't even feel like we did. Let's just hear from Jeff.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
So team already saying then we picked up damage early on in this Grand Prix, but honestly I'm wondering whether it's just going to be worth trying to hang out here for at least a few laps. We'll see what happens down in the S's, because that's going to be the big tell there. But Verstappen leads the way at the end of lap 1. Sergio Perez P2, they're ahead of Bottas and Hamilton. And yeah, Mercedes need a big weekend here as we try and just hang on ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. ERS management as well is going to be a rather difficult one today. But to be honest, turning on the car, at least through the first couple of corners, doesn't feel too bad. We're right on board through the S's, and just double check. Oh, it's struggling a bit there, I must admit, but I've never been able to hit the line through there anyway. I think still, though, we're going to have to try and hang out at least a one-stop this, otherwise we're going to lose too much. So, yeah, definitely getting out of shape, though. It's costing us a bit. Oh, here comes Daniel Ricciardo towards the end of lap 2. I really don't know whether it's worth just being a pain for the Australian here as he tries to have a look around the outside. He might have just pulled that off there. Look at that, Daniel Ricciardo. It's going to be a drag race back down towards start-finish line there, as there goes Verstappen. Look at this wheel-to-wheel, like Mansell and Senna at the Spanish Grand Prix all those years ago, but Ricciardo trying to hook it up around the outside through turn 1. But we hold on firm for now. Again, just using a little bit of battery on the exit. But, I mean, to be honest, we want a soft medium this one. The hards just don't work. I know I say it a lot on F1 2021, but it's absolutely true. Well, I think, to be honest, you can probably take the mediums to the end from about lap 8. So we haven't really got to try and drag these tyres out too far. Oh, Ricciardo now with DRS. This is going to be a much, much more difficult battle to try and hang on. There is all Ricciardo. Just chops in front of me. There was the tiniest bit of contact, but again, I don't think it cost us anything. As now we're going to get the DRS back on him, though, at the final corner. So this battle isn't over just yet.
Let's conserve what we have left. Start using the car's drag to slow you down ahead of the braking
Oh,
line.
Jeff, don't, please. I know what I'm doing.
Before you start to actively brake.
I so desperately need a Kimi Räikkönen.
3 seconds.
That being said, I'm causing a huge train in this Grand Prix, but I mean, yeah, there is a Kimi Räikkönen, isn't there, on this game? Where's Shut Up, Jeff? Oh, where is it? Oh, no, I'm messing up all the corners. Right, I'll focus on that in a minute.
Copy.
Oh, let's look at this from Ricciardo. Again, though, we were a little bit either aggressive or stupid there. Almost cut the Australian off as he tries to go around the outside through the hairpin. Surely he's not going to be able to pull that one off. That McLaren. I mean, Ricciardo, a pretty brave man anyway. What a move that was by the Australian. Can we get back at him, though, as we head down the next straightaway? We're going to be gaining on Daniel Ricciardo. To the inside. No, to the inside again. No, not willing to commit to that one. And you can just see those are the corners where we lose a little bit more performance to the AI. However, I think a bit like Verstappen in real life this year, don't really want to go for a move down this back straight if we can avoid it. Or Ricciardo's just going to come right across me. Kimi Räikkönen now trying to look up the inside, and that's definitely going to have to be a new front wing on the car there. We're going to try and still take the mediums to the end, but what was that from Daniel Ricciardo? He definitely came across me in that situation there. Räikkönen's had to pit as well, of course, because we accidentally turned in on him in all the shock that what was occurring, but Ricciardo being super aggressive there, and like I said, I felt like he moved across me, but 20 laps on a set of mediums is going to be quite a tall order to the end of this GP. Can we stay out ahead of Kimi? That's the real question. Yes, we can, just about, but yeah, this is going to be a tough old afternoon now. Going to have a few laps of peace and quiet, however, which perhaps isn't a bad thing. You know, maybe if... Oh, come on. Maybe if all their tyres start to go off, then we can gain some time. Kimi Räikkönen has gone onto hards then by the looks of it, but fingers crossed we can just pull away a little bit from him. But yeah, definitely going to have a tall order trying to keep these tyres in good nick to the end of the race. I mean, Jeddah's not the worst track for tyre wear in the world. But yeah, gap to the Haas car's definitely coming down a lot. But I don't know what it's doing in comparison to the likes of Ricciardo. I mean, if we can still score points after that, I'd be pretty happy. Happened at the right part of the circuit, just certainly not the right time of the race. Or just, you know, not at all. There we go, new personal best for the day. Love to see that. Coming to the end of lap 9 then. Just sort of quietly been plugging away over the last few laps. We've been very, very consistent. I think every lap we've done has been within 2/10 of each other there as well. Oh. Just getting a little bit overzealous there as we try to get inside the DRS range of the Haas cars in front of us. But fingers crossed we're going to start seeing some AI pit over the next couple of laps as well there. I'm still umming and ahhing, to be honest, whether it might be worth sort of lap 16, lap 17, pitting onto a fresh set of soft tyres and then really just going all out to the end of the GP as Mazepin and Giovinazzi are just trading places every single lap there. Look at this from both Haas. Back down towards turn 1. Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi trading places. And how can we get involved in this party? So we head out of the first couple of corners. They're both just going to hold me up, aren't they? Yep, nowhere for me to go. Nowhere for me to go. I love it when the AI do this on F1 at 2021. There is all Latifi. Very, very slow on the racing line. I mean, he's always very, very slow, but... Right, come on, Latifi. Get out of the way in your old Haas car. We need to try and get around him. To the outside. Why do the AI keep doing that today? That's the second one. The first time around, of course, we went into the back of Ricciardo. That time around, we just were aware of it and got round Latifi. And now we need to try and get past his teammate Mick Schumacher as we have lost so much time through that first part of the lap. I mean, look at how quick we romp up and get around these Haas cars once we get an opening. There is past Mick Schumacher we go. He's trying to hang the nose in. Why are you trying to hang the nose in, man? Back out, please. He's just costing yourself time as we head out onto the next part of the circuit, though. And yeah, we've lost a good, what, probably 1.5, 2 seconds on this lap. But now we are starting to see AI into the box. Where are we going to be in comparison to Daniel Ricciardo? That's my real question in this GP as we head out of the final corner. Looks like the Australian is one of the cars that has pit there. As we've got McLaren, we've got one of the Alpha Taurus as well. It must of course be Pierre Gasly because Raikkonen pit when we did, and we've actually lost a lot of time out of all of this, of course, because of the front wing change. We're 5 seconds behind Ricciardo, so I don't think we've gained anything over these last few laps. George into the pits.
George is in the pits.
Thanks for that, Jeff. I can read as we head through the final couple of corners of lap 11. I'm really umming and ahhing about this strategy. I mean, we're still pretty quick on these mediums at the moment, but we are just going to lose time between now and the end of the race. And look at that, we have come out still clear ahead of a lot of these cars by a fair margin as we head back down through turn 1. I guess really just the question is at the moment, can I make up effectively a pit stop in half a Grand Prix to these guys? That's the real question. Of course, we will have fresher, quicker rubber, which should help me out as well. But it's still going to be, you know, sort of a good 15 seconds. That is the real question there as we get very, very close to the inside wall. Really trying to push the limits at the moment. I mean, if we can get the gap up to George to about 5 seconds, then I think we're going to have to go for it. Just because I'm worried about how much time we're going to lose late on in the afternoon there. As car just grounded out on the exit of the banking there. That's not what we want. I reckon at the moment Ricciardo might have issues in this GP because suddenly myself and Gasly are taking a whole chunk of time at Daniel Ricciardo, so maybe the Australian has either skimmed a wall somewhere, which would seem unlikely, or perhaps karma's come back to bite him later on in the afternoon in this GP, because now myself and Gasly both taking big chunks of time there. Yuki Tsunoda still up in P8 as well. He's having a very, very solid day out in his Alpine as well. Just second-guessing ourselves through that section of corners. But now we're going to get a nice double slipstream off Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly. Is Ricciardo going to move around once more there? Pierre Gasly to the outside this time around. And look how much Ricciardo squeezes him. Can we go slow in, fast out around the final corner and make a cheeky double overtake? Let's wait and see, as we're both going to get the DRS on Daniel Ricciardo, but nowhere to go. The Australian forces me down towards the pit wall. There's Gasly. It's going to fly around the outside of him in towards turn 1 there. We're going to go up the inside as well there, so Ricciardo loses 2 places in one go. But now we've got to try and get past Pierre. Look at that, Verstappen down in 4th place. He's been jumped by both Mercs, but Perez still leads the way here. I mean, let's be real, if the AI can sensibly do 10 laps on a set of tyres, we definitely can, and still have a lot of life left in them towards the end of the Grand Prix here. I mean, we're battling now Pierre Gasly for 5th place in this GP, but I'm just thinking, though, perhaps if Ricciardo can slow down those cars behind a little bit, we might still have a shot later on in the afternoon. I'm just really worried these tyres aren't going to hang on late on in the day there. As round the outside of Pierre Gasly, again, the AlphaTauri man goes defensive, kicks out the back end as he tries to put the power down, but we're going to peel back into the pit lane then. We are going to move on to a 2-stop race here in Jeddah, just so I get the car slowed down, uber aggressive in towards the pit lane. And now all these cars that streaming past us, we need to try and close up the gap once more later on in the race. There goes Sainz, there goes Lance Stroll. No front wing change needed this time, and a 2.4 second stop isn't too shabby either. So there goes, yeah, Stroll on a pit exit, and to be fair, we're actually not going to be too far behind here. I think psychologically it's going to really help, you know, if we're picking off cars pretty quickly. But there is still a big, big gap up to Daniel Ricciardo up the road. A good sort of 15 seconds there is, I think, optimistic on cold rubber. It's probably the way to describe it through there. But this is a completely fresh set of tyres, so we're going to have all the grip in the world. The key is going to be, though, trying to make sure we get as much DRS as we possibly can. There is immediately purple through the middle sector, and just look how fast we can go through some of these corners. They're immediately closing in on Lance Stroll. Don't want to try and go for a move down in towards the hairpin. May as well try and get a bit of free time, get a bit closer, and then use all the battery out of the final turn here. Turn 27 of the lap. Ride the power. Activate the DRS when we get back to the detection point. And now, the Canadian is going to be... What is with the AI and moving around? Back down the straightaways there, but we do get clean past Stroll anyway. As Sebastian Vettel gets jumped by the man that replaced him down at Ferrari. Sainz now back up into P11. We might actually, I mean, let's just stay on board then as Seb makes a bit of a hash. First part of the S's, we're going to be able to close up here. We might be able to get a run down the DRS straight on the German. He might have some DRS still off of Sainz in front, but look at the run we get immediately there on the Aston Martin purple through the first sector, despite all the dirty air, and clean late around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. Now back up into 12th. Next up, Sainz. And I mean, to be fair, we should be close enough to Sainz that we can make a move out onto this next straightaway here before we can get down towards the final corner. Up the inside of the Spaniard, who I don't think realised how much overspeed we had. And now back up into 11th place then, just outside of the points in this Grand Prix. And I must admit, early on, this strategy seems to be working, as we're not really that far away. Russell, next car up the road. Fastest lap of the day as well. I'd happily take the bonus points. See how much George Russell is struggling in the sister car there. Just can't put the power down at the hairpin. He must be running an even lower ride height than I am at this stage of the day. But trying to get a run now on our teammate. Fingers crossed he's not going to battle us too hard in this GP. Oh, George, please, just let me have it, man. We're much, much quicker than you at the moment as we go right on the outside through the next corner there. He's actually going to get the DRS back on me, though. But George Russell, there's got to be some team communication in there, as now he's going to come back at me. So we head down in towards the final corner of the lap. Got to try and keep the nose there. Can't let George try and get a run on me. And now we've got the power down. Activate the ERS as well. So we've got more and more cars battling up the road, but every lap those gaps are coming down. And now, yeah, back up into the points then of the GP. Every place now is a bonus. We have just got so much extra speed and grip at the moment there. Look at that, up the inside of Esteban Ocon, down in towards the banking, and now up into P9 then of the GP. And here's the man that had to force us onto this two-stop strategy in the first place, Daniel Ricciardo, the next car up the road, and that has not taken us long to get back to him. McLaren, clearly with some reliability woes. Oh, Ricciardo, yeah, I mean, it's not a fair comparison. Clearly that McLaren has got some issues at the moment, because early on in the race we were having quite a good little ding-dong with the Australian, but new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and I'll make it very clear to him, I was not happy with what he did earlier on as well. I mean, we've pretty much recovered all the places we needed to, and we've still got 7 laps to go with this Grand Prix. I reckon we could get all the way back up to Gasly here. This strategy might have paid off, as, oh, again, just running a little bit wide. Get some DRS now off Tsunoda and Lando Norris. Could we see Yuki get a run on Lando back towards turn 1? It's a battle of the short drivers as we head back down towards turn 1, and fingers crossed I can get involved. That's a fair amount of curb through turn 1. I'm not going to capitalise on that. Then little Yuki Tsunoda, can we try and get a run, or is he closing in still on Lando Norris? In the perfect world, we'll pick Yuki off down in towards the final corner, and then Lando out of the final turn as we try and go slow in, fast out then. Is this plan... We're at least going to be able to tick the first half of this plan. There is Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, Yuki, please, man. Have some chill, I beg. He already took us out. Hey? What is Yuki Tsunoda doing? I don't think I sort of moved aggressively towards him there, unless we did accidentally do what Ricciardo did to me. But Tsunoda lives to fight another day, and it looks like the plan that I had is going to completely pull off. There is right on the outside of Lando we go. Back down towards 1. Just so much straight line speed in this Williams, and we are using it to our advantage. But 5 laps to go of the GP. Pierre Gasly 3 seconds up the road. This strategy has worked off beautifully for me. Oh, we got yellow flags out down in the first couple of corners there. It's one of the Aston Martins. I think it might be Sebastian Vettel falling to the wayside then in this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with just a handful of laps to go. Heartbreak here for the German. And are we going to get a safety car from that? No, of course not. Too late on in the afternoon. It could really save me, though, because we are still taking bags of time out of some of the cars in front. I'll be honest, I'm hoping we can get past Pierre, but I reckon if Verstappen might have some issues in this GP. I don't think we've quite got enough laps, but we might get close. Right, 3 laps to go then here from Jeddah, and now all over the back of Pierre Gasly once more in this GP. And what a strategy this has turned out to be. Or not! No! I cannot believe it! The ICE! It's just completely gone up on me. And of course we muted Jeff earlier on, so I had no idea. I am so stupid. And 2 laps to go here in Jeddah immediately is falling apart. I am heartbroken. What am I meant to do in this series?
That brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close then, as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And unfortunately, after a masterstroke strategy from the team, didn't quite go the way we wanted when all was said and done there. But it is Sergio Perez who takes home the race victory late on in the day. Well, late on in the day. He took the race victory at the end of the day when all is said and done. Bottas ahead of Hamilton for P2 and P3 there. And yeah, Verstappen, weirdly, down in 4th place there. Definitely had some issues with that car late on. Gasly 5th ahead of Norris, Tsunoda, Ocon, Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo there. So AlphaTauri have all but cemented themselves with P5 in the Constructors' Championship. But we did get classified. We didn't even get our fastest lap bonus point, though. Like I said, just Jeff came back swinging with karma there late on in the day. Of course, he's not in F1 2022, but that doesn't mean he's not going to cause just a little bit more pain at the end of F1 2021 here. Championship-wise, though, of course, Verstappen's still out on top. Hamilton now 2 points ahead of Bottas as we head into the final race there of the year. So that's certainly going to be an exciting battle to watch out for. And look at that, the battle for 5th. Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz there. 3 drivers, 3 teams, 3 power units, separated by just 5 points. That could really go any way there. We could still jump Charles Leclerc. We could have been ahead of him had things gone our way today. But obviously we've guaranteed now P10 in the Drivers' Championship there. George Russell could still make moves, but he needs a big result next weekend there. Constructors-wise, though, Red Bull now 21 clear of Mercedes, so it is going to basically require a miracle there from the Brackley-based organisation if they want to take one championship away from Red Bull there. But 47 now back behind AlphaTauri. With that retirement, it is all over for us. We can't do anything against them in the Constructors' Championship as well there. So very heartbroken with that result. But nonetheless, we had good fun racing out here today. If you did enjoy this video, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. It's been a while, actually, since we've had a mechanical failure on F1 2021. But thank you all so much for watching nonetheless, and we'll be back very soon with the finale of Season 2. We'll head to Abu Dhabi. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.